Hey guys, I'm back with ACA Today. This is the latest news and clarifications on the Affordable Care Act, also known as Obamacare, which is the law that is currently falling apart. Anybody that disputes this is basically lying to you, okay? There's no doubt in my mind that by the end of this year, the entire marketplace will have completely decomposed into, a basket case that makes the law up until now look, stable by comparison. But instead of reporting it, instead of attributing the blame where it belongs, the media, I don't even call it the mainstream media anymore. They just are the media. They are focused on attributing the blame to somebody who didn't even put the law together. Never mind that Donald Trump was not a politician when Obamacare was pitched to the people. You didn't have Donald Trump go to these meetings in 2010 where Obama was having people dress up in white smocks to pretend that they were physicians. Donald Trump is not to blame for Obamacare. Donald Trump may not solve the problem, and I'm not claiming he will. My interest is ending this abomination of a law. If Donald Trump can do that, then I will do everything I can to help him. And if the Republican Party can do that, then I'll start to come around to supporting some of their people, as hard as it is, because they're eternally disappointing us. But we can't lose sight of the fact that these people are being deliberately deceptive about it. The only person to blame for Obamacare is Barack Obama. He engaged in this game of cat and mouse with Americans who were trying to figure out exactly how this bill worked. And like I've said before, for the life of me, I have never met, apart from one person who is an immigrant from Colombia. I used to work with him, who could actually explain the rationale behind Obamacare, and even he couldn't figure out why it was failing. And he wasn't up to date to the fact that it was failing. And why do people not know that Obamacare is failing? The simple reason is this. Okay, Obamacare is not really consumed by a large number of Americans. Okay, there's an estimated, I think the number is about 10 to 12 million people that actually have purchased plans under Obamacare. That's not a very wide cross-section of the American people. There are some states where Obamacare simply isn't being implemented in full anyway. A lot of people who benefited from, they think that they benefited from Obamacare, really just received Medicaid under the Medicaid expansion. So, the two are unrelated. Okay, well, they're related because the Medicare expansion did happen under Obamacare, but the main thrust of the argument here is that Obamacare needs to be addressed as a program on its own. All the people that come on, there's a lot of progressives that they know that Obamacare has failed, and they would rather have single-payer health care, and they've been saying so for years. But because they have to man the fort for their liberal overlords, they will trot out this nonsense that dismantling Obamacare will kill people and whatnot. Guess what? Obamacare is already killing people. Guess what? You did not care when the VA under Obama was also killing people. There was hardly a single peep from TYT or any of the progressive networks or Bernie Sanders. They could care less. And those were people too. And that, by the way, that was single-payer health care. So the title of this article is called Health Insurers Plan Big Obamacare Rate Hikes, and they blame Trump. It's by this guy, Noam H. Levy, for the LA Times, and it says health insurers across the country are making plans to dramatically raise Obamacare premiums or exit marketplaces amid growing exasperation with the Trump administration's erratic management, inconsistent guidance, and seeming lack of understanding of basic health care issues. At the same time, state insurance regulators, both Democrat and Republican, have increasingly concluded that they cannot count on the Trump administration to help them ensure that consumers will have access to a health plan next year. The growing frustration with the Trump administration's management, reflected in letters to state regulators and in interviews with more than 24 senior industry and government officials nationwide, undercuts a key White House claim that Obamacare insurance marketplaces are collapsing on their own. Instead, according to many officials, it is the Trump administration that is driving much of the current instability by refusing to commit to steps to keep the markets running, such as funding aid for low-income consumers or enforcing penalties for people who go without insurance. All this uncertainty is not helpful, warned Blue Shield of California Chief Executive Paul Markovich, who said health plans were being forced to make plans to raise premiums to account for the turmoil, jeopardizing Americans' coverage. Markovich was one of the few senior insurance officials who agreed to speak on the record, as many fear retribution from the White House or its allies. What does that even mean by retribution? What does retribution mean? It really just means that the government will stop paying healthcare companies corporate welfare in order to give people shitty healthcare plans that are unaffordable anyway. And by the way, they were jacking up the healthcare premiums last year a lot too. In fact, I believe it was in Arizona where healthcare premiums under Obamacare shot up by more than 100%. Can you imagine that? How is it affordable healthcare? The claim has been for a while that, without Obamacare, insurance would cost even more. Guess what? Even if it would have costed more without Obamacare, the point of Obamacare was actually to have the costs go down. It was to have the insurance premiums go down. It was in order to keep those premiums from going up. It was in order to... Does anybody remember that Barack Obama said that he could save insurance policyholders $2,500 per family per year on Obamacare? He said that several times. In fact, let me show you the video.
Where we're going to work with your employers to lower your premiums by up to $2,500 per family per year.
We will start by reducing premiums by as much as $2,500 per family.
Here's what changes, saying to people who already have health insurance and the employers who are providing it, we'll work to lower your premiums by up to $2,500 per family per year.
I also have a health care plan that would save the average family $2,500 on their premium.
Okay, that's enough. That actually goes on for another 2 minutes. And essentially, Barack Obama lied to the country from the get-go. He said that he could bring insurance costs down by $2,500 per family per year. So you want to talk about Donald Trump being a liar. Donald Trump could not even hold a candle to Barack Obama. Yes, I've said, just like I said at the beginning of the video, I don't know if he can fix this mess. Because, to be honest with you, I don't know if he actually has a real trajectory here. I think to some extent, Paul Ryan is ruining the whole project of repealing Obamacare. If Paul Ryan could pass bills when he was in the when Barack Obama was in the White House, he could pass bills left and right to repeal Obamacare. How come they can't do it now? You know what? The answer is that Paul Ryan is a paper tiger. He has absolutely no principles, and he's not a leader on this. He's not a leader on anything. He's an administrator. He's a manager. He's a manager. He's like the Democratic Party's ambassador to the Republican Party. That's what he is. So here he keeps going. It's hard to know who's home, said one of the chief executives. We don't know who is making decisions. Another chief executive said there seems to be no coordination or coherent planning. It's a mess. So let's keep going. Trump and GOP congressional leaders insist that the marketplaces are collapsing because of flaws in the original law. Gee whiz, I wonder why they think so. Maybe it's because the law was collapsing even before Donald Trump was a candidate. Okay, it's been in collapse. This has nothing to do with Donald Trump. The only reason that they're blaming Donald Trump is because he got into office because Obamacare was such a huge disaster. It is a disaster. People know it. The press just doesn't report it. The media does not report it, okay? They cite premium hikes in some states and decisions by several insurers to stop selling Obamacare plans, including major national companies such as Humana and United Healthcare groups. Well, why do they pick those two companies? Because those two companies exited last year, okay? There's no, this whole notion that it's collapsing because of Trump is made up crap, okay? I want you to spread this video everywhere. I need your help. You know, it's a long video, but we're going to go through this, okay? Somebody starts saying there has been uncertainty with the Affordable Care Act since it started, said Maryland Insurance Commissioner Al Redmer Jr. Maryland's largest insurer, Care First, is seeking to raise rates by more than 50% next year. Okay, so they interviewed one insurance commissioner, by the way, in a state run by a Republican governor, and he actually refutes the premise of the article. He says that it's been filled with uncertainty since it began. Okay, here he continues, but most health plans and state regulators interviewed for this story said the Trump administration has significantly exacerbated turmoil in the marketplaces in recent months, contributing to rising premiums and the threat of marketplace exits. There is no consistency to the message, said Ceci Connolly, chief executive of the Alliance of Community Health Plans. So they're asking insurance executives about, you know why they're pissed off? Because they want those subsidies. They want the money, okay? It's not about giving people health care. They want the money because they've been counting on it. They've been counting on that corporate welfare money. The Trump administration has sent mixed signals about whether it will enforce penalties on, let me highlight this, on people who don't buy health insurance. The penalty, though unpopular, is seen as crucial in inducing younger, healthier people to get coverage. Should I go into this now or later? Let's do it now, okay? So, we're talking about young people and the penalty, the individual mandate. What Democrats, what the LA Times is not telling you is that even with the penalty, even with the forced insurance buy, people still weren't buying health care. They were saying, you know, fuck it. I'll take the fine. Fine me. You know, they're doing the Marshawn Lynch approach. I'm just here so I don't get fined. Well, you know, I'll just get fined. It says the 18 to 34-year-olds who helped elect Barack Obama could consign his signature domestic policy achievement to failure. That's because not enough millennials have signed up for Obamacare to make it work well. By the way, this is from October 4th, 2016. This was when people thought that Trump had no chance of winning the presidency. Despite repeated outreach, including entreaties from all manner of celebrities, including NBA stars and Obama himself, young people make up less than 30% of Obamacare customers. So essentially, what this means is that 30% of customers have the low-risk people, and they're paying for the health care of the other 70% who are high-risk customers. The White House has set a goal of 40% in that age bracket to sustain a healthy marketplace because millennials tend to be healthier and therefore balance the costs of sicker, older customers. The president was expected to make a pitch directly to college students at the University of South Florida in Tampa Wednesday, touting the law as one of his signature accomplishments while also acknowledging that it needs fixes to survive. This sign-up season, the administration is trying out new tools and strategies. Young people who live by their smartphones will find it easier to enroll with a few swipes. They'll see ads for Obamacare when they go to sites like Twitch, where millions of users watch others play video games. So you see what they're doing. They're trying to induce people to buy a health care plan using deceptive social media tactics. It says community colleges, meanwhile, have agreed to help publicize open enrollment beginning November 1st, and Lyft is offering discounts to people using the ride-hailing service to attend enrollment events, which are being held at pizza places and breweries. So think about that. They're using corporate partners and community colleges in order to get people to buy healthcare plans, including at places where they sell unhealthy food and drinks. Okay, and not that I care. I mean, I say, you know, if you want to eat pizza, eat pizza. I eat pizza all the time. You know, you want to have a beer, drink a beer. That's fine. For the first time, too, the administration will target those that opted to pay Obamacare's penalty instead of to purchase coverage in the past. The administration will target those that opted to pay Obamacare's penalty instead of to purchase coverage in the past. The success of Obamacare markets overall may very well hinge on whether these new strategies overcome millennials' concerns about affordability and the lingering toxicity of Obamacare politics in states with the highest uninsured rates. And then it says a trio of high-profile national insurers have significantly scaled back their Obamacare markets for 2017 because of big losses, as have some regional health plans across the country. An August analysis by the Kaiser Family Foundation, a nonpartisan research organization, found that 1 in 5 Obamacare customers might have only one insurer selling plans in their area for 2017. As usual, I apologize for the coughing. That might be a pre-existing condition. That has come to pass. I think it's even gotten worse. It's probably more than 1 in 5 now only have one Obamacare plan in their area, which means that pretty much they're held captive to that provider. They're not enrolling in the numbers we'd like them to, said Karen Basha Agozi of the Epilepsy Foundation of Florida, a nonprofit that received a $1.8 million federal grant this year to enroll people into Obamacare plans. So they're using a nonprofit organization. They're paying them federal grant money. These are the unseen costs of Obamacare. They get $1.8 million. This is a organization. They're meant to target a specific illness, and instead, this snake, Barack Obama, gives them grant money to get people to enroll in his plan so he can subsidize insurance companies and give people unaffordable health care. Affordability is an issue for all age groups, but particularly for the young people. No, I'd say affordability is an issue for all age groups, period. And young people are simply the ones that know, they're the ones that know that they don't have to swallow this garbage. This sign-up season, though, it may be harder to notch large gains because the pool of uninsured Americans has shrunk to historic lows since the market launched in 2013. In addition, many prospective customers still don't realize they may qualify for generous federal subsidies that would shield them from large premiums. Most enrollees receive subsidies that, on average, cover about 3/4 of their monthly premiums, and even with the premiums rising at higher rates for 2017 coverage, most enrollees will be able to find a plan for $75 per month or less after subsidies are factored in, administration officials say. So basically, Obamacare is literally robbing people. That we are going to be paying taxes as a whole, as a country, so some people can get insurance that's barely affordable. Here, for the Community Council of Greater Dallas, that means airing Obamacare enrollment ads in movie theaters for the first time. In and around Charlotte, North Carolina, Legal Services of Southern Piedmont is partnering with breweries and pizza parlors to hold sign-up events. Although young adults live on their mobile devices, enrollment aides say they will still value in-person help when it comes to buying health insurance. So I could keep going on this. but I'm not going to belabor the point. Let's go back to the original article. So it does address a topic that the media is skewing very heavily. They're saying Trump and his deputies have also, and his deputies, it's Donald Trump and Jeff Sessions. Those are the two people. They can say who it is. Trump and his deputies have also repeatedly threatened to withhold federal aid that helps millions of low-income Americans afford their deductibles and copays. So it'll also be Steve Mnuchin, the Treasury Secretary, who, by the way, I've already said I don't think that. In fact, I don't think that I like any of those people. Jeff Sessions with his drug war, and Paul Ryan, and even Steve Mnuchin. I've said I don't trust him as Treasury Secretary. I'd like somebody who is a Fed auditor. I don't like any of these people, so it's not like I'm coming here because I'm a huge fan of Donald Trump. So it says the aid, which reimburses insurers for lowering out-of-pocket costs, was paid by the Obama administration, but is now the subject of a lawsuit by congressional Republicans who argue Congress must approve the payments. It's not an argument. Okay, when you take money, when you need money for anything, you have to go to Congress. Otherwise, Donald Trump would simply say, yeah, I want to build a wall, and they would have to build the wall. That's the way it works. Okay, you can't have it both ways, LA Times. You can either factually report the way that our Constitution works and the way that our legal process works, or you can continue to dispense lies and interpret events based on the results that are favorable or unfavorable to your viewpoint. That's not what reporting is, okay? If I dislike something, but in the event a court rules against me or people vote against my wishes, it's just like in the French election. I didn't bellyache over it. I just said, screw the French. I don't care. Yeah, they chose the wrong person. Fine, go ahead. I don't care. I'm fine with it. So it says the Trump administration hasn't taken an official position in the lawsuit. What they fail to mention is that the federal court already ruled that the payments are illegal anyway. Now, the only question is if Trump is going to appeal the ruling. So basically, Trump could decline to appeal the ruling, and then Obamacare would effectively die instantly. What the media is not saying is that Trump literally has a kill switch right now. He could kill Obamacare with or without the Democrats' help or the help of Congress. It would be irrelevant. But in recent months, the president publicly mused about stopping the payments to force Democrats to negotiate a repeal of the current law. It remains unclear whether the administration will continue the payments known as cost-sharing reductions or CSRs. In a letter to Washington state insurance regulators this month, California-based Molina Healthcare, a leading provider of Obamacare plans in many states, warned halting CSRs may cause the collapse of the state market. If the federal government's full CSR funding commitments are in jeopardy, we believe that the viability of the exchange market is in immediate jeopardy of failing. The uncertainty created by Trump comes as many Obamacare markets were beginning to stabilize, according to many industry and government officials. He doesn't cite any of them. In several states, insurers and regulators know that 2017 was shaping up to be a better year than the first several years of marketplaces. Tennessee Blue Cross Blue Shield Chief Executive J.D. Hickey reported in a letter to that state's state insurance commissioner this month that our 2017 performance has improved due to a combination of better claims experience and more sustainable rate structure. So he has one person who does. Okay. Hickey warned in the letter that potential negative effects of federal legislative and/or regulatory changes, including not paying CSRs or enforcing the mandate, would require the Tennessee plan to price in these downside risks. Many state insurance regulators are similarly dismayed by the Trump administration's actions, which Washington State Insurance Commissioner Mike Kreidler compared to playing Russian roulette with Americans' health care coverage. It's ludicrous, said Kreidler, who is a Democrat. This has real impact on people's lives. In Colorado, where most consumers continue to have multiple insurance choices, Commissioner Marguerite Salazar said the Trump administration threatens the whole market. Mississippi Insurance Commissioner Mike Cheney, a Republican, is so concerned the turmoil will drive away insurers that he's exploring whether the state can make available limited benefit insurance plans as a stopgap. So here's another thing. At one recent meeting, Seema Verma, who Trump picked to oversee the federal Medicare and Medicaid programs, stunned insurance industry officials by suggesting a bargain. The administration would fund the CSRs if insurers supported the House Republican bill to repeal the Affordable Care Act. It made no sense, said one official at the meeting. Yes, it does make sense, because the CSRs are needed until Obamacare is out. Okay, he can't just, he's not going to repeal it and have it removed by tomorrow. Okay, if you want it funded at all, you need those CSRs. Now, if he really wanted to screw it up, all he would have to do is not pay the CSRs or drop the lawsuit. So he has two kill buttons. One's a legal kill button. The other is a financial kill button. Many insurers, as well as every leading patient and physician group, believe the House bill is deeply flawed. Independent analyses suggest that legislation, which Trump has enthusiastically backed, would increase the ranks of uninsured by 24 million over the next decade. Trump administration officials denied Verma suggested the administration would fund the CSRs. What she said at the meeting in April was that no decisions had been made about CSRs. Anyway, so that's enough. Yeah, I'm not interested in your newsletter, bitch. So, you know, we're running pretty long here, I acknowledge, but this is what I believe in. I believe in talking about Obamacare and addressing the issue until we can finally get out of the Ho Chi Minh Trail. For those of you that don't know, the Ho Chi Minh Trail was in Vietnam. It was used to bring supplies to the Viet Cong in order to fight the Americans and the South Vietnamese. The Obamacare supporters have their own Ho Chi Minh Trail. All they have to do is go to a paper like the LA Times and especially the Bloomberg View, and you can see that they are shilling full on. I don't know. I'll probably do, you know, maybe I'll do an investigation. I'll find out if they are getting money from these insurance companies. Because let me tell you what the bottom line is, okay? Obamacare has failed. Aetna has withdrawn. Last week, Aetna withdrew. Anthem is also withdrawing, mostly from all these markets. There are already markets across the country where there are dead zones. Okay, let me pull one up. This is from March 30th. This is from CNBC. You can see here, Dan Mangan, whatever his name is. And it says roughly 255,000 people across Colorado, Kentucky, Missouri, and Ohio would have no Obamacare insurers for 2018, and 560,000 people in 8 states would have just one insurer. Okay? So it's not getting better. And if there are no Obamacare insurers in those, and this is just now, okay, as the year is going on, let me explain something to you. Donald Trump has one thing that's working in his favor, and that's time. Okay, as long as he can keep his finger on the trigger, and nobody, you know, they can say, oh, we don't know if he's going to provide these cost share reduction payments. Or we don't know if he's going to defend Obamacare in court. Look, the longer this keeps dragging on and the Democrats don't take the initiative and support one of his initiatives, one of his healthcare proposals, more and more of these companies are going to dump Obamacare in 2018. The majority of the state of Iowa has already dumped Obamacare. Okay, let's look at that one. Okay, this is from financial blog Zero Hedge. It says Obamacare implosion. Last major healthcare provider pulls out of Iowa, leaving no options in 2018. Are you done being lied to? Obamacare, it has imploded already. If there's a state where almost nobody can access it, there's a this is the map here, okay? Wellmark here is the sky blue, okay? These are 5 counties on the, I think this is the Illinois side of Iowa. Those are the only counties where there will be any Obamacare plans. The majority of the state has nothing. Nothing. It's over. Okay, and that's just one state. Now, your state could be next. Virginia has already had a similar issue. It's not as bad as in Iowa, but the longer this goes on, the less coverage there's going to be. This is not the Affordable Care Act is such a huge deception. I mean, you've already seen. I've been putting together videos and I've been dissecting the deception. And the only question is if you're going to listen to me or you're going to listen to the people that are denying what the media has already admitted. The media has admitted prior to Donald Trump even being involved in politics that Obamacare has serious issues. Just like I illustrated the Politico article talking about how they're having a hard time getting young people to sign up for it. These problems are not going away. People are not going to buy shit insurance now just in order to save Obamacare. And they didn't do it before. Now that Donald Trump is president, why would they go to bat for Obamacare? It doesn't make any sense. I want you to comment, okay? Are you now going to buy Obamacare just because you want to save Obama's legacy or you want to save this program or whatever? People are not buying it, okay? And if you're saying, well, what about people with pre-existing conditions? Shouldn't they have insurance? That's the whole problem with the whole bill, okay, with the whole program. They load the costs up. That's why nobody wants to buy it, you morons. Okay, the whole purpose behind the bill is what made it such a colossal failure. Okay, so that's it. Obamacare Today, this is now May 19th, 2017. And I want you to spread this around. I want you to, get somebody else to watch this video. Get somebody else to realize that this is not about saving Donald Trump's presidency or saving Barack Obama's legacy or whatever. Those people, they're going to live in comfort. Doesn't matter what you do. And you know what? You might like them. I like certain things that President Trump does. I think but I'm not here to work for the benefit of Donald Trump. I'm here to work for progressing this debate, the healthcare debate, beyond this retarded issue of, are we going to save Obamacare? What's going to happen with Obama's legacy? What are we going to do? People are going to die. The Hindenburg's crashing down. I'm burning in flames. That's not going to get us anywhere. We have to start talking about the real issues, and the faster we can get Obamacare killed and put in the ground, then we can start addressing the real issues: tort reform, malpractice insurance reform, dealing with how pharmaceutical companies are jacking up the prices of their products, and improving competition in the pharmaceutical markets. Those are things that progressives and conservatives both have a number of common ground issues on. Okay, not on the issue of delivery of care. In terms of, or delivery of the coverage, insurance coverage, they don't have any common ground on that. But on those other issues, I think that there has to be, a checker tablecloth where we can start dealing with that debate. And Obamacare is the obstacle. So anyway, have a great night. This is Ramon, Bow Like a Leopard. And let me know. I want to know if you can come on here, either defend Obamacare or give your own personal testimony. I'll give you as much time as you need, because this is a topic that is going to either cost us or save us the best experience of the next few years.